What's good, family? It's your man the YB, back once again. Big shout out to my doggy, Wesley Andreas, for coming through and boosting up the coin 100%. So, we got some breaking news right now regarding your mans, Jake Paul and Tommy Fury. The fight is now locked in and I am gassed. This is, for me, this is probably fight of the year. I don't know how the quality is going to go, but in terms of anticipation, I'm gassed for this. I'm pretty much certain now, Timmy surely can't pull out. The fight's only 4 weeks away, which I think Jake Paul did it on purpose. I think Jake Paul thought, I best not, if I book this for 3 months out, he can pull out. Really, 4 weeks out, it's hard for a guy to pull out. What can you say? What can really go wrong in 4 weeks? Well, you'd hope so. But yeah, I'm actually pretty confident this fight's going to happen. I am a bit disappointed though, I ain't gonna lie. The odds, so far at least, have shifted bigly, which is super annoyed me. Going into the fight before, it was 2.5 decimal odds for Jake Paul. So you put a tenner on, you get 150, or put a tenner on, you get 15 profit back. Now you put a tenner on Jake Paul, you get £6 back. It's swag. Now it's completely flipped. So the odds that Jake Paul was the underdog going in before is now the favourite. So we've lost. That in itself irritated me. Where's all these Fury fans at? But I'm hoping, close to the fight, they'll gas up the Timmy thing and money will go on to Timmy and it will balance it out. But I'm not putting money on it at these odds at the moment. I still think Jake Paul going to win, but it's not as tasty as it was before. I was gassed. These are dead odds, man. Super annoying. I'm hoping it does change. Anyway, on to the fight. Like I said, genuinely, I'm gassed for this one. This one's, gassed for it. I think Jake Paul boxes this guy's ears off. I think there's even a potential for a knockout. I actually think it's more likely Jake Paul knocks out Tommy and Tommy wins. Tommy's too stiff. And let's not forget, Anthony Taylor. Tommy fought Anthony Taylor. Anthony Taylor is the small guy who got a big mouth, can't box a lick, yeah? Anyway, he talks a big game. Tommy went in there and was going life and death with him. Couldn't do anything. Couldn't differentiate himself, really. The fight was 50-50, no joke. Go back and watch the fight. Tommy versus Anthony Taylor. Jake Paul even said, I let you fight one of my sparring partners to try and make you look good. And you went 50-50. 2-2s. Some next dude the other weekend fights Anthony Taylor and knocks him all around the ring. Yeah, so when people are saying things like, at the time the excuse was, Anthony Taylor is an MMA fighter, he's got a difficult style. That was the excuse before, he's difficult. But then other people have gone in there and punched his goal around the place. So there's always a built-in excuse for Tommy. It's a bit like recently. Yeah, they've been dragging in dudes. They've been desperate. Frank Warren and John Fury have been literally setting up Tommy Fury to get KO wins. And he can't punch for toffee. He can't. And that's my point. If Tommy is getting draws and going 50-50 with any man's, Jake Paul is going to box this guy's ears off. And the problem is, you see, Tommy, he gets popped by random dudes. I did a video on it. There's a video of Tommy Fury getting popped by a random dude. A nobody. I think his name was Daddy Longneck. Some next Daddy Longneck looking ass popped Timmy right on his chops and he's like that. So, if we know Jake Paul's right hand is a demon, and Jake Paul's only getting better, he just whooped up Anderson Silva. What Anderson Silva's, 50 or not, what Anderson Silva's, because he ain't no punk. Silva was bigger than Jake Paul, and yes, he's older, but he weren't no joker. People weren't laughing at Anderson Silva. Even Dana White, Jake Paul's biggest hater, he weren't laughing at Silva before the fight. After the fight, he old, and listen, if you're that old, tell your man's KSI, tell your man's Timmy to get in there and wash him. Oops. Yeah, a lot of people take a lot of credit from Jake Paul, but they ain't doing the same things. But he's not a real boxer. Listen, Jake Paul is as real as a boxer, and Timmy Fury fans are going to find out. If I'm wrong, fair play to you. If I'm wrong, fair play. If Timmy beats Jake Paul, fair play. I think the only way Timmy wins is if there's some sort of scam on the judges' scorecards. And that's one thing I will say about Jake Paul. Jake Paul, do not leave it to chance in that sense. I'm not saying forced for the KO. I'm saying make sure it's clear. Make sure in the last few rounds that you up the tempo. That is one potential criticism of the Anderson Silva fight. it was a bit one-paced. You won the fight, and I guess that's the argument. Jake Paul in the Anderson Silva fight reminded me a bit like Floyd Mayweather. Doing enough to win. Clearly winning, but not putting the extra pizzazz on it. That's what was missing, the pizzazz. And Jake Paul's the man, he's renowned for pizzazz. So mate, on this one, Timmy's too stiff, he's too slow, and therefore, Silva, he's tricky. If Jake Paul can go in there and box Silva's ears off, 50 or not, Tommy's straight up and down, stiff, slow, and can't punch. It's ideal. I'm just praying the odds. For me, yeah, if the odds get to 2-1, if the odds get to 1-1, if the odds get to 50-50, I'm going all in. I'm going all in. The whole net worth, little piece of coins. I'm putting all my little piece of coins in there on Jake Paul. I might also bet on the decision win as well. That might be where the value is. Because I'm not sure. I think Jake Paul is going to be happy just to outbox this guy. 8 rounds to 2 or something. I'm not sure he'll want to risk it. But I think that's what I'm saying to Jake Paul. When you go in there and realise this guy can't punch. It's not a joke, people. Tommy actually can't punch. Yeah? Look at boxers' histories. When boxers fight these kind of up-and-coming journeymen, they knock them out. Even Tyson Fury, who wasn't a big puncher, he was knocking out journeymen on his come-up. Tommy, he goes the distance every time. So what I'm saying is, Jake Paul, when you go in there, now I haven't been in there with Tommy, so it's easy for me to say he can't punch. I'm just saying, if you get in there with Tommy, and you think to yourself, wow, this guy's blunt, and that's what it looks like. Tommy, his big, strong model looking ass, his Calvin Klein model. But usually, them big muscles, they don't mean snap. They don't cause concussive knockouts. They're like blunt. And that's what Tommy's shots, they look blunt and they look like slaps and it's dull. His punches are dull. He doesn't have that, you know what I mean? He doesn't have that whip that usually causes KOs. So my point is, Jake Paul, when you go in there with this Timmy guy, yeah, I'm not saying you rush in there and try and do something silly. I'm saying after 3 or 4 rounds, if I'm correct, and because you'll know, Jake Paul's for all the best boxers. He'll know when someone can punch or not. And I'm just saying, after 4 or 5 rounds, yeah, halfway through the fight, and you felt this guy. I mean, if I was training Jake Paul, based on my strategy, I'd even plan around round 4, just sit on the ropes with your elbows in. Let's just get a taste for this guy. And once you got a taste for this guy, and if I'm right, and he can't punch, that's when you stick it on him. And that's one thing Floyd was good at. Floyd did do that. Floyd, at times, he'd go to the ropes, and he want to know what he's working with. Let's taste this power that people have been talking about. That's what Jake Paul should do at some point in the fight. Not early, but once you're comfortable, go back to the ropes, have a little taste. And what that'll also do, it does 2 things. Going back to the ropes not only lets you measure and size the guy up, it also gives your opponent a false sense of security. He then thinks, he gets boosted up. Oh, I got this guy on the ropes. And that's when he lowers his own inhibitions. That's when he thinks, oh, I can come running in with my chin in the air and just start unloading. Oh, I've got him backed up. Oh, I've got him in trouble. Yeah, and you play his bluff. And then when he comes in for the second to come and have another go, that's when you catch him. I think that's something that's underappreciated in boxing. I don't see enough people faking in that sense. I've always wondered, why don't someone fake to be knocked out? Fake it and then let them come running in. I think that's potentially something Jake Paul can implement in this fight. Fake being hurt. Fake being... I guess the problem is then you end up giving away the round. If you fake being hurt, everyone gets gassed and it looks like you're... From the judge's point of view, they give the round to the other guy. I guess that's probably why people don't do it. But still, maybe you don't have to fake being hurt, but going back to the ropes and putting your elbows in and just tasting, rocking and rolling with the shots and tasting what he's got. And I've got a feeling, Jake Paul, who's been in there with all the legit people, I've got a feeling he's going to taste the shots and think, this guy can't punch. At which point, that's when you up the tempo into the last 40% of the fight and you get the guy out of there. I think this is where Jake Paul's whole thing can come together. Because Timmy's too slow. He's not a great counter puncher. He's just not good in my opinion. This is perfect. I was more nervous about the Anderson Silva fight, truth be known. I was more nervous about the Tyron Woodley fight as well. Woodley's a real fighter. Yeah, Silva's a real fighter. Timmy, again, he can't even finish his dinner at the bottom level, people. Now, Tommy Fury's argument is, but they're real boxers, but real boxers, Jake Paul wouldn't be able to do it with real boxers. Well, luckily enough, we've got a real boxer coming in there now. And also, people forget, Jake Paul did knock down Anderson Silva. Yeah? So it's not no joke. That's what I'm saying. For me, there's more chance of Jake Paul getting a KO win than Tommy Fury winning, full stop. That's how I feel. There's no chance Timmy wins this one, in my opinion. He fooled. Anyway, it's been announced. It's in Saudi. February 26th, not long to go, literally 4 weeks. Mouth-watering. Yeah, I'm gassed. I know Jake Paul going to turn up. I hope Timmy surely, no, there's no way he can't turn up again. There's no way. He has to turn up now. There's no way. I'm not even going to talk about him not turning up. Apparently Tommy's already had his baby as well, so the baby's out. Molly shot the bun out the oven. Listen, end of the day, the bun's out the oven. There's no excuses. It's on like Donkey Kong. This for me is fight of the year, 100% in terms of anticipation. To some extent, it would have been better for me to be in March for a bit more build-up. But you know what Timmy's like. You can't trust him. Yeah, a bit more build-up would be good. But Timmy, he pull out 100%. And I'm hearing Jake Paul's coming to the UK, and there's going to be some sort of press conference tomorrow, which is wicked. I can't wait to see that one as well. These guys really should be doing. Yeah, I want to see a lot of press for this, 100%. This is a big fight. And really, assuming Tommy turns up, I have to salute him. This is a risky fight for both men. For this stage of their career, this is, from a boxing point of view, Anthony Joshua versus Dillian Whyte, that was a big fight, but they took that after 15 fights. So really, actually, no, I think Tommy's had about 15 fights. So yeah, Jake Paul, after 3 or 4 fights, yeah, taking this step up. People, when this guy wins, yeah, start giving him his respect. Yeah? Because there'll be no more talking about, he ain't a boxer or whatever else. He beat a boxer. He beat the best boxer. Yeah? Who doing that? Who after 3 or 4 fights is stepping in there with this caliber of fight? This is the AJ versus Dillian Whyte. This is, I'm trying to think who else there was. I'm trying to think of good examples. Well, really, that's the problem. The reason AJ versus Dillian Whyte, that was 8 years ago. The reason I can't give you no more examples, yeah, of young bulls stepping up together is because it don't happen. Oops. In boxing today, I'll tell you an example which is actually a good one. Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia. That's what this is. Obviously, Tank versus Ryan is a higher level. But, in fact, no, Tank's old. Tank's like 30 years old. So no. But for Ryan Garcia taking the risk of fighting Tank. That's what these guys are doing. Yeah, Tank's old. Tank's been old. Tank's been supposed to have fought some good people. But that's the kind of caliber of fight we're talking about here. Yeah? Jake Paul after 3 or 4 fights, it's never been done before. And in my opinion, it will never be done again. Never. No one will be doing this again. Anyway, gas for this one. Let me know your thoughts. Smash the like button, subscribe, and lick off the bell 100%.